Welcome to the Mike and JD Show YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. I want you to do me a big favor before you check out this clip. I want you to hit the like button. I want you to throw in a comment and make sure you're a subscriber to this channel. And then I want you to share this video with your friends. Help us defeat the algorithm. And then if you like this content and you appreciate this content, please head over to patreon.com/the Mike and JD Show and support the show. That is how we actually get funded to be able to do this. So we thank you very much for being here. And now enjoy the clip. Hey, now it's Brace for Impact, and I'm your host, Mike Gilbert, and I'm joined today by a very special guest, a Brace for Impact favorite. We got Steve Maclin from Impact Wrestling. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great, man. I'm really excited to have you on. The listeners of this show know how big of a fan I am of yours. And you can see Steve Maclin as he takes on Trey Miguel for the X Division title at Hard to Kill on January 8th at the Factory in Dallas, Texas. Tickets are on sale, but it looks like, according to social media, they are almost sold out. So get them while you can. Their price is as low as $13. I just checked today, so they're still available. So get them. Let's sell that sucker out. So Steve, let's first of all, let's go ahead and get into your match with Trey Miguel, man. How much are you looking forward to this match coming up at Hard to Kill?
I'm highly looking forward to it. Finally get the chance to get on one-on-one with Trey. And I know we've been in and out with triple threats here and there, and finally get the actual match that I want and I think I deserve.
Yeah, I think that you've been deserving of the match for a long time. I know you guys had a multiple person at Bound for Glory. You had another multiple person at Turning Point. And it seems like that you guys have been destined for a long time with the one-on-one match. In fact, you guys had one last year. I believe it was on BTI where it went to a no contest, and that was a really great match. It's kind of like a little bit of a teaser for Hard to Kill. What kind of strategy are you going to go into in this match?
I think I have the upper hand, like I have in most matches. I am the middleman of X Division, where it's the unknown. I'm kind of in that unknown territory where you can either get the high flying or you can get the ground and pound. And if you want to high fly on me, I'm going to probably ground you, and vice versa. I can go either way on that.
Yeah, I really like the where you fit into this X division. The division has always been kind of a high flyers division, and you can do some of that. But I've always been more intrigued by the Samoa Joe types, the guys that'll just beat your ass, right? As opposed to the other guys that are more flashy and fancy and stuff. And that's kind of where I see you in that role, where you come in, you're no nonsense, completely intense, and you offer something different than the rest of the X division by being that intense guy.
Yeah, and that's the one thing too. I think the X division has been that way forever. It's a hybrid like division where you can get all types of different like styles to clash into each other and mesh. And I think that's the one thing with Trey and I is we mesh very well with our styles, and it's going to be a fight. I'll tell you that at Hard to Kill.
Yeah, and speaking of Hard to Kill, I mean, what the hell is he thinking getting in the ring with Steve Maclin at an event called Hard to Kill? Because I mean, there's nobody more hard to kill than Steve Maclin, right?
I know. You know me, you being prior military as well, and me as well, and just we're not ones to shy away from a fight.
Yeah, man. I do want to get into your military service. So I'm actually still active duty. I'm in the Air Force.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to celebrate 18 years. I'm an E7 Master Sergeant in the Air Force, and I just did I was the keynote speaker at a promotion ceremony. We had some airmen that were getting promoted from E4 to E5, so for senior airman to staff sergeant. Mm-hmm. And so I did the speech there, and I used part of your ribbon chaser promo, which I absolutely loved. And kind of just talked about, hey, don't be that type of guy. You got people that are counting on you, that you're leading now, young airmen that are going to look up to you. Don't be the guy that's chasing the ribbon. Look to be the guy that's going to lead them and guide them to places that they need to go and make their success your success, essentially, is what I was trying to get at. Talk about that promo, because I know me and a friend of mine named BQ, we're both Air Force guys. We really love that promo. How did you come up with that, and what were you thinking when you were doing that promo?
I kind of came to me, Robert and I were kind of back there and kind of coming up with an idea for the promo. I was like, I have this idea I've been wanting to kind of get out there for a little bit. And it's one of those things from my own personal experience of dealing with bad leadership, my time in the Marine Corps, and even with good leadership, you learn from both sides. And that's one of those things where you had people that weren't chasing ribbons. And like I said, you're a ribbon chaser. And those are the people that are just in it for a career, in it for themselves. When you are on deployment, you're there for each other. You're not there for the stack that you're going to wear on your left breast. Right. So it's one of those different things where I was like, how can I relate my background more into professional wrestling? And Trey is a very materialistic person. He loves his backpacks. He loves his shoes. And majority of today's generation is that way, where they all are technically chasing ribbons. They're all chasing that social media tweet or just that instant gratification. Where me, I don't care about the instant gratification. I'll put out what I want to say out there, and that's pretty much the end of it. I can care what anybody else has to respond to it.
Yeah. So, I think that right now in Impact, you're one of the guys where whenever you're doing a promo or you're in a match, everything that you do is believable. Everything you say, I believe that you really believe that. You're probably the most intense guy on the roster. Do you have to take yourself into a dark place to get in the mood for those promos?
Uh, kind of a no. I don't know. I think it's just kind of built in me where I know when I have to turn it on, I know I can turn it on. But then I'm also a goofball. And behind the scenes, I'm very much a Marine. I'm very much a grunt, where if I'm in the barracks, I'm just dicking around. And at home here, I'm with the dogs all the time. So I'm very a homebody and very just down to earth. But when it's time to go to work and I know it's time to put boots on the ground, in a sense, it's time to go kick some ass. And I think that's just where my head goes to.
That's so awesome. I love your intensity. I love what you bring to the roster. So I did a little bit of research on you, very little. I didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare for this interview. So in your interview with Tommy Dreamer earlier this year, you said that when you were 20 years old, you had dropped out of college and you started working full time, and that's when you joined the Marine Corps, which is pretty funny. I did the same thing just with the Air Force, so literally the same age. What job did you have before you joined the Marine Corps?
I was working at a company, Bell Security. My dad was trying to get me into a trade of being a locksmith. And so it's one of those things where I enjoyed it, but it wasn't for me as a full-time gig. And I wanted to go in the Marine Corps at 18, and my parents begged me to try college. In 2005, Iraq was hitting off bad, and just Ramadi and Fallujah, that whole entire area was just crazy. So, of course, watching the news, and my mom just begged me to try college, and I did. It wasn't for me, and I went with my gut. I went to work one day and I left at lunch, and I went to the recruiter and I said, I want to leave this date. I want to do this. I want to go infantry. And that's all she wrote.
That's awesome, man. I have very, very similar story to me. I was getting ready to manage my own Pizza Hut, and they wanted to send me to school for Pizza Hut. And I was like, you know what? I went to the recruiter later that day, and next thing you know, 18 years later, here I am. So I think it was a wise decision, probably for both of us.
Yeah, it's funny how the world works, man, and how the ideas and decisions we make, whether you go off your gut and you just go off your gut feeling what you feel is right. And that's just kind of how my life's always been. And leading up to this point, even with Impact, even making a decision to go to Impact is one of those things where it felt right.
Yeah. Well, I think it's been a great fit for you. I think you're a perfect addition to the roster. In fact, I don't know that you know this, but we did have an award. Like hasn't been announced yet, because we're actually gonna do the podcast this week. But you won the best new signing for our little podcast here. You edged out Morrissey. So congratulations, sir. You don't get anything but a nice tweet, but still you won.
Okay. That's that instant gratification of Twitter these days. Everybody loves Twitter.
Yeah. Where you deployed to Afghanistan twice. You and I actually just missed each other by about 6 months. I was at Bagram. Where were you at in Afghanistan?
First tour was 2009, May to November 2011 in Helmand Province. And then second deployment was Helmand, obviously Helmand Province again, but in Marja of 2011, January to August.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did. So I was 2010, and then I went back in 2015. So, yeah, pretty close. No longer there anymore. But that's for a different conversation. What is the one thing that you learned in the military that you bring with you throughout your wrestling career?
Hurry up and wait.
Yes.
Everything in life is hurry up and wait. You can try your hardest to be the good person and do the right thing, be there on time, but it's on somebody else's. So it's just hurry up and wait and control what you can.
I had this conversation with my 3-year-old the other day where she was refusing to eat. And I said, listen, little girl, I've been in the military 18 years. I can wait here all night. I can wait here till tomorrow, but you're going to eat.
Yeah, it's one of those things too, even like with eating, you don't know when your next meal is going to be. So you just eat when you can, and you just keep going. I don't know. That's just how I always learned.
Yeah. So Impact is heading back on the road soon. So we got January 21st and 22nd in Fort Lauderdale, February 19th and 20th in New Orleans, March 5th and 6th in Louisville, Kentucky, March 18th and 19th in the 2300 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The
I'm very excited for that one, by the way. I'm
Yeah,
excited for all of them, but just especially that one, just because it's a bucket list of mine for the old ECW arena.
yeah. Had you not worked there before?
Have not yet.
Oh wow, that's cool. And you're from pretty close to that area, right? You're a New Jersey guy.
Yeah, I grew up in Jersey.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I'm really looking forward to those tapings. It's always a fun atmosphere when Impact goes back to the 2300 arena. So that should be a lot of fun. And then I guess another one that's kind of in your neck of the woods. Maybe I'm a little bit off my map here, but on April 23rd and 24th at the Mid Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, New York. That should be a huge one. Rebellion pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm excited just to be in the Northeast. I think always the Northeast, even like the Midwest, like Chicago area. Like everybody's got their own sets of cities, and like each different fan base is a lot different. And that Philly and Jersey crowds are they're rough, and that's like a test to us in the ring. Where if you can go out there and kick some ass and the crowd's with you, I think you've done your job that day.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for Impact just to be on the road in general, moving things around. Looks like a lot of these facilities are bigger capacity, so hopefully we get a big turnout on a lot of these events because I think that the talent's been working their asses off. So we need to get the people there in the arenas to show out. Just a couple more questions, man, and I'll let you go. So assuming you win the title against Trey Miguel, who are you looking forward to defending the title against?
Any and all comers. Like I said in the ribbon chaser, like that puts the target in the promo. That puts the target on me, and that's the one thing of being the champion. And I would love to, as much as I would love to be a champion everywhere I go and wherever I can hold the title. It's something you should be in the business for. That just puts the target on you, and whoever's there to line up. It's the roster that we have in Impact is from top to bottom just great on the males and the female side, and there's so much talent. And I know Josh Alexander invoked that option C for the world title, and I kind of didn't work out for him, but he was one I was gunning after. So if there was another top contender, it would be him. But the X division, if I can carry that brand and of the X division and kind of run with it, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, man, and I'd be very much looking forward to you holding that title. You have any interest in defending, should you win, any interest in defending the title in other companies or welcoming Forbidden Door opponents?
Yeah, if that was to happen, obviously per Impact, that's on them. New Japan, AEW, there's a lot of options out there, but that's on them. To me, I kind of focus right now on what I can do, and that's January 8th at Hard to Kill is getting that title against Trey Miguel. And then after that, we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, I think me personally, I think that you would fit in great in New Japan. There's a ton of opponents there that I think your intensity matches well with those guys. So just seeing you against Suzuki, sign me the hell up right now. I would just love to see that because he's a crazy man, and I think you got a little bit of that in you too.
That's the Marine in me.
So final question, which other match are you most looking forward to at Hard to Kill outside of your own?
I know Jonah and Josh, but obviously I have to go with the default by Deanna and Mickey James for the death match. I'm curious to see how that goes with Deanna with the Texas death match stipulation, just because it's a little out of her element. Mm-hmm. Mickey's been around a lot longer as well in the business, but I think both of them are stepping into a match that they're both not very, I guess, know of. Right. So it's going to be kind of different. And obviously the rules are a stipulation on that where it is a pinfall and then you have a 10 count to get up afterwards. I don't think the fans know that. And I didn't know that until she told me what the stipulations of the match was. Like, oh, wow, that's going to be very interesting. So, yeah, I would say for Mickey and, the whole card from top to bottom too. Mm-hmm. But obviously by default, Deanna and Mickey.
I for one, am very interested in the match. It's going to be much different than their match at Bound for Glory, especially with the stipulation. Impact does things way outside of the box a lot of times. And you don't really get to see women in this type of match. They don't really get to perform in these types of matches. They're kind of pigeonholed a little bit with what they can do, but Impact is completely different where you got not only a Texas death match with the women, but you got an Ultimate X, the first ever Knockouts Ultimate X match, which should be insane.
Yeah, so girls are making history all over the place. Girls have it made right now in wrestling, which is good for them. It's good that they get that platform finally for them to have that showcase of talent because there's so much talent out there in the female perspective of wrestling. And yeah, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a friggin' card top to bottom. That's going to be hard to, there's a lot of show stealer options there.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm very much looking forward to it. Tune in January 8th on Fight TV, or if you're in the Texas area or you can travel that area, get your tickets now. Go to impactwrestling.com for more information. I want to thank Steve. Oh, by the way, I wore this just for you today because I know this is your favorite wrestler.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
This was my Christmas present this year. So one of them, I got my Roots of Fight Hitman t-shirt on. So got to represent Brett the Hitman Hart. So that's going to
best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, that's going to do it for us. Steve, will you go ahead and plug your Twitter real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here.
Yeah, follow me at Twitter and Instagram at Steve Maclin, Pro Wrestling Tees, and at Shop Impact Deals as well for Steve Maclin for my store. So appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Awesome. Well, this has been Brace for Impact, and until next week, mahalo.